Hello student, today I talk about a topic which is related to class 11 subject biology chapter number 3rd plant kingdom, and the topic name is gymnosperms. Gymnosperms are present after the pteridophyte plant, that means they are developed than the pteridophyte plants. So student, first of all, we understand about the meaning of word gymnosperms. Gymnosperms are came from the Greek word, so that's have two words. First one is a gymno and another one is a sperm. So here the meaning of a gymno is naked and sperm means seed. That means gymnosperms are those plants which have naked seed. So here in the case of a gymnosperm, commonly we said that all the gymnospermic plants have naked seed. They have no protective structure around the seed. That means here ovule is present and the result of a ovule is seed is formed, but here ovary and flower like structure are not present, which forming the protective structure surrounds the seed. So student, gymnosperm plants are also known as a living fossil because of they are present in very few in number, and their fossils are also present. So that's why gymnosperms are also known as living fossil. And in the case of a gymnosperm, the largest plant of plant kingdom is sequoia. So sequoia is a gymnospermic plant, and these are largest plant of gymnosperm and also the plant kingdom. So here student, sequoia plants are present in a redwood garden of California, and the smallest plant of gymnosperm are Jamia pygmea. So the largest plant of gymnosperms are sequoia and the smallest plant of gymnosperms are Jamia pygmea. Okay student, so these are smallest and largest plant of gymnosperm. After that student, we talk about important features and basic features of a gymnospermic plant. Mostly gymnospermic plants are perennial. That means they are present in not annual, not biennial. They are a perennial plant and their structure are woody. That system are woody, and also they shows a xerophytic nature. That means they present in where very reduced amount of water are present, and their stomata in their leaf are present as a sunken type, and in the upper layer of epidermis of their leaves cuticle layer are present that protected from the xerophytic nature. They have vascular tissues, but in their xylem tissues vessels are absent, and in the case of a phloem companion cells are absent. They reproduce by vegetatively, and also sexual reproduction process occur in the case of a gymnosperm. They reproduce by the vegetative with the help of a bulbul like structure, and in the case of a sexual reproduction they are contain reproductive organ in a like a cone or strobilus, and also they have a female cone structure. So these structure are showing male cone and this structure showing female cone. In the case of these are example of a cycas plant, male cone and female cone. Here cycas plant also have a important structure, and also in the case of a gymnospermic plant. In the cycas plant, normal roots are present and also a special root, corolloid roots are present. In the case of a corolloid root, some blue-green algae or cyanobacteria like nostoc and inabina, they show a symbiotic relationship with the cycas plant root, and these roots are known as a corolloid root. And as you know that these cyanobacteria are shows nitrogen fixation process. And also another example of a mycorrhiza is seen in a gymnospermic plant. The gymnospermic plant name Pinus, they have relationship with some fungal structure in their roots, and these structure are known as a mycorrhiza. The gymnospermic plant are heterosporous. That means they produce haploid microspore and megaspore structure. And the two kind of spores are produced within a sporangia that are borne on sporophyll, which are arranged spirally along an axis to form a compact strobili or cone-like structure. As you seen in this diagram, these are a male cone of a gymnospermic plant like cycas, and when we take their LS, then we see a microphyll-like structure. These structures are known as a microsporophyll. So the microsporophyll structure are arranged in a spiral manner, and each microsporophyll structure have microsporangia. As you seen in this diagram, these are a single microsporophyll, and in this microsporophyll structure the microsporangia are present, and in the microsporangia structure many smallest structure are present. They are known as a microspores. So as you seen in this diagram, the many microsporangia are present, and these microsporangia are separately known as single structures are known as sori, or also known as sorus, and in this structure many microspores are present. These are a single sorus structure, and in this sorus structure many microspore like structure are present. These microspores are also known as pollen grain. So after that we are talk about here about a single pollen grain structure. A pollen grain structure of a gymnospermic plant, they have two type of a protective layer. Outer layer is known as exine, which are present in a one region very thin and another region as a thick structure, and the inner layer is known as intine, which are present in inner side of the pollen grain structure. And in this structure these pollen grain are known as a male gametophyte. So this pollen grain structure are the first cell of a male gametophyte, and in this case the pollen grain nucleus are divided with the process of mitosis, and in this division their nucleus structure is divided and forming that a two nucleus structure, and the first nucleus are known as a prothelial cell and another one is known as entheridial cell. So here through the division of a mitosis they are forming two types of a cell. First one is known as a prothelial cell and another one is known as a entheridial cell. After that they also show a dividing process in the antheridial cell, and these antheridial cell divide and forming a small nucleus structure which is known as a generative cell, and another a large nucleus cell structure known as a tube cell. So this situation of forming a male gametophyte structure, and in this situation these pollen grain are detached from the or spread from the microsporangia structure. So this process we also understand with the help of this type of flow chart. Here before pollination, where the pollination process not occur, pollen grain are divided into two cell. First one is a prothelial cell and another one is a antheridial cell. After that these antheridial cell divide and forming two cell structure which is a tube cell and generative cell, and after the pollination these generative cells divide and form a stalk cell and a body cell, and this body cell structure is formed two sperm which is known as a male gametophyte. So these are the structure of development of a male gametophyte. And in the case of a female reproductive part which is known as a megasporophylls structure, and these megasporophylls structure or female cone or strobili may be born on a same tree, like example is a pinus. However, in a cycas plant the male cone and megasporophylls are formed on a different tree. So these megaspore are formed with the help of a megaspore mother cell which is differentiated from the one of the cell of the nucleus. So in the first structure, as you see in this diagram, firstly the inner megasporophyll nucleus cells are present and their outer layer is forming with the help of a integument structure, and in this nucleus cell one cells are contain more cytoplasm and looking bigger in the normal nucleus cells structure, and these cells are known as megaspore mother cell or also MMC, and these MMC cells are divided through the process of meiosis and forming megaspore tetrad structure. After that, in these four megaspore tetrad structure, one is a functional megaspore and three are degenerated. After that, these functional megaspore are forming female gametophyte, or also these cells are female gametophyte are forming a archegonial initial cells, and in the case of a gymnosperm 2 or 6 or 2 or more in number of archegonial cells are formed. After that, here student, here the mainly development of ovule processes occur, and here the egg structures are present in the archegonia structure, and here a developed ovule structure is formed where the archegonia is present, and inside the archegonia X structure is present, and here without fertilization endosperm structure is present before fertilization process. As you know that nuclear tissues function have they given the nutrition to the developing ovule, and the function of an integument is provide the protection to the developing ovule, and these archegonia consist egg cell. So student, as you know that in the pollination process the pollen grains are released from the microsporangium, and they are carried in air current and come in contact with the opening of the ovule borne on the megasporophyll and the pollen tube carrying the male gamete grow towards archegonia in the ovule and discharge their content near the mouth of archegonia, and they forming fertilization and zygote develop into an embryo and the ovules into seed, and these seeds are not covered. So these are overall things about the gymnospermic plant.